Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. So you guessed it, it's that time of the week. It's time to do some more detective work and break down the latest clues surrounding the White Rabbit mystery from this week's Monday Night Raw. So enough talking, let's get down to it.
So I actually think that there were three main takes in conclusion from this week's episode of Monday Night Raw in relation to the White Rabbit situation. Number one, WWE have all but confirmed that Extreme Rules is going to be the location where WWE reveal this White Rabbit. Who the White Rabbit is, and whether this is physical form or not, seemingly we're going to get answers at Extreme Rules. I'll link in how that ties together in a moment later on in the video. Secondly, WWE seemed to be thrown back to WrestleMania 37 when Alexa Bliss betrayed The Fiend, vanished The Fiend from WWE, never to be seen again on our WWE televisions. Potentially, we could get answers there. Potentially, there could be an Alexa Bliss link. Again, we'll go into that in a moment. And thirdly, I think a lot more red herrings were thrown in there in relation to other superstars as well. And we'll cover that also. But this could have been a super complicated session to cover here, really, to be honest with you. So I'm going to do my best to simplify what happened, but more importantly, look at what that could potentially bring next. So we were all waiting for a QR code as lead detectives assigned to this White Rabbit case. We knew that was going to happen, and it did. I thought it was really interesting that this was in an Alexa Bliss and Bianca backstage segment. Also, Oscar and Candice LeRae was in that as well, but mainly the main talking points is Bianca and Alexa. Now, when you scan the QR code, we know the drill. It takes you through to an image from Samson and Delilah. And I looked at that image and I immediately thought, where have I seen something similar to that before? And fans had cleared it up, fans had done the research. Bray did in fact tweet out just after WrestleMania 37, which is really interesting, an image in relation to Samson and Delilah. And the main messaging from that is betrayal. When you think of betrayal, you think of Alexa Bliss betraying The Fiend on the grandest stage of them all. We haven't seen him since. We know why, of course, behind the scenes, but in kayfabe, WWE need to tie that up, and potentially that was their not so subtle way of saying The Fiend never forgets. Now, what was cool about this image is it had like a double meaning. If you click the full URL, it would take you to a second image, and within that image, another image of Samson and Delilah, there was a code, and if you click on that code, it took you to White Rabbit Milk. Now, what if this is a business venture from Bray Wyatt and White Rabbit, and he's going to get in partnership with Kurt Angle, and we're going to see White Rabbit Milkomania? Think of all the sales, the ka-ching, the dollar that they would generate from that business venture. But I thought, again, that was like a pretty just cool link to the White Rabbit situation. I love how they're getting other businesses involved. It's so cool. Now, if you take out the full URL, you're left with a code, which can be translated into coordinates. Those coordinates being, and this is a huge reveal, the location of Extreme Rules, the Wells Fargo Center. Now, this is WWE telling you, without telling you, that there's going to be a big reveal of some sorts happening at Extreme Rules. The main talking point we mentioned earlier in the video. Now, if you scroll down, there's some magic eye, some predator language. I had no idea what any of this is. You fans have been fantastic in obviously doing your research. Fans had decoded the magic eye and worked out that took you to another code. That code translates to the date of Extreme Rules. So yet again, confirmation that there's a link with Extreme Rules and the White Rabbit, potentially a reveal. Now, Genius fans had also worked out the predator language and worked that out, and it was also a reference to Dante's Inferno. Now, you think of Dante's Inferno in relation to Bray Wyatt, you think of the Firefly Funhouse and the door. There's obviously those clear references there. Clearly that was a link. Again, confirmation of what we already know. Bray Wyatt is the man behind this whole White Rabbit mystery. Now, another QR code appeared in the Bianca Bayley contract signing segment. I think this is really crucial. I think this is a big talking point. We'll go into detail with this in a moment. And then people had decoded a binary code which had led to the word Gacy. Now, this is huge because this could either be a red herring, WWE wanting you to believe that NXT's Joe Gacy is somehow involved in this White Rabbit situation. Is he the White Rabbit? Is he involved with Bray Wyatt? Has Bray Wyatt seen Joe Gacy in NXT and thought, hang on a minute, I'll have a bit of that. He's right up my street with my type of gimmick. I'd like to work with that dude and elevate him on the main roster. And I like that thought. I like that theory. Is Bray starting a group? Is he going to build some numbers? Is he coming back with numbers? Are we going to have a message via somebody else, via Bray? That would be cool. Again, eagle-eyed fans have worked out that if you type in Gacy and Alice in Wonderland, it comes up with a 10th anniversary edition of Alice in Wonderland and the reveal of this creepy-ass clown, which we assume is in parallel to The Fiend. Alice, Alexa, potentially, and the bunny. Who is the bunny? Is Bray the bunny? Are we going to see a demonic rabbit? Or is that somebody else? Is that a new member? Are we going to see a Three Faces of Foley type gimmick from Bray Wyatt? We see Firefly Funhouse Bray, we see The Fiend, and then we see a demonic rabbit of some sorts. We don't know. I'm strongly leaning towards the fact that we might well see The Fiend come back at Extreme Rules and get answers for WrestleMania 37 in relation to Alexa Bliss. That would be cool. And then he teases a new incarnation that's coming, which is linked to this whole White Rabbit situation. But again, that could just be going down rabbit holes, but it's certainly something worth mentioning. So much to dissect there. There was also a sign that said the Wyatt Rabbit. Obviously, break that down, it spells Bray Wyatt. Was that a WWE plant? Was that just a genuine fan? There were let me in signs as well, fans dressed as The Fiend. So WWE, if this is not Bray Wyatt, we know what to do. Hashtag Riot for Wyatt, and we're going to do that in our millions. Well, thousands. But I'd like to think millions. That would be cool. But the big talking point, of course, Extreme Rules is a location tease. The links potentially back to Alexa Bliss. And talking about Alexa Bliss, I think this is where things tie in massively. There was a huge focus on the Go Home Monday Night Raw show to Extreme Rules on Damage Control versus Asuka, Bianca and Alexa. Huge focus. Remember when Bianca ran down the ramp heading backstage to save her allies? They zoomed in for a split second on the Extreme Rules sign. I think that's a tease that something big is happening in relation to this match. We know there's going to be interference. This is not going to be a clean-cut match between Bianca and Bayley. No way. Damage Control are going to get involved, which is going to bring out Asuka, which is going to bring out Alexa. So Alexa is going to appear in Extreme Rules. She is going to. We've seen potential character change teases from Alexa Bliss. Like, she's gradually starting to transition. Of course, it could be a red herring, and Alexa just gets a heel turn and goes down a completely different path, unrelated to the White Rabbit in Bray. But what if there's a connection here? It's not a coincidence that purple lights appeared during Alexa Bliss's match with Io Sky. There's no way WWE didn't throw that in as a sign, as a potential tease. We saw purple lighting alongside red lighting when they were playing the White Rabbit song during live events, SmackDown events, Raw events, a few weeks ago, literally. So there could be a parallel there. When I think of the whole Alice in Wonderland situation, I know this is a little bit of a side comment, but I'd absolutely love Charlotte Flair to play like a Red Queen of some sort to the character. How cool would that be? We know Charlotte Flair destroyed the Lily doll. I know this will never happen in a million years, but when you think of the Red Queen, you think of Charlotte Flair, don't you? Alice is obviously from Alice in Wonderland being Alexa, potentially. I know that's going down a bit of a rabbit hole, but I thought that was definitely something worth bringing up. But my gut instinct is telling me that they tie up WrestleMania 37 and we get answers from that. I'd absolutely love to see that. But it's safe to say a big angle is going to happen in the Bayley-Bianca match at Extreme Rules, potentially involving the whole White Rabbit situation. I mentioned it in my previous video. I really don't see where else Bray fits on the card when it comes to Extreme Rules. The person he needs to go after is Alexa Bliss, because of what we saw last from WWE. He teased that something new is going to happen, new and exciting. We could well see that. What's your thoughts? I'm kind of lost with what's next, because so many things could happen, and I think that's the whole point in all this. They don't want us to know, do they? They want us to find out through potentially more clues leading to Extreme Rules. Get down in the comments section, share your thoughts and opinions. As always, be really appreciative if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new. Big clues coming, I think, on this week's episode of SmackDown. We're going to be glued to it for the Go Home show leading into Extreme Rules. This is so exciting. Thanks for following the journey. We'll see you soon.